when I had classes back in Dow and seeing how the composition of that class is like very homogeneous. There was no students of color and then much less another young Latino like me. That was probably the one instance that I felt uncomfortable, just because knowing that when I would go to like SI sessions or like kind of like any additional help outside of like the chemistry class, I would find myself basically surrounded like by a bunch of like other like white students, and they kind of like challenged like my intellect, and I didn't like that because I go in with like the notion that everyone's equal. I feel like everyone's smart enough to get into this college, so I hold them all to the same standard, and seeing how that's not reciprocated back to me makes me feel uncomfortable.
People tend to kind of undermine what students of color have to say at times. Not even just myself, like I've noticed it with other people. A student of color, if they say something, a Caucasian student can say the same thing, but like with bigger words, unnecessary words at that, but and then everybody's like, oh, that makes sense, blah, blah, blah.
I have felt uncomfortable in the classroom setting. I believe it was my sophomore year in the Spanish class, and I was joking around, but somebody, I guess they thought I was serious, or even if I was serious, it shouldn't matter. Like, I got looks and glances, and it always happened, but this particular day, it was just like something in me that just really felt bad afterwards.
There's other expectations around being Indian, like people expect that you're going to be smart and always be on top of it. And while that expectation is nice, I do feel like I am held to a higher standard sometimes. I can say from like high school and even here, like when people are like, you play basketball? I'm like, yes, I play basketball. I love playing basketball. I guess not most Indian Americans play basketball, but I'm good at it and I like it. And they're always just like, whoa.
I don't really feel like I relate to students on campus outside of the Black community. I don't know if I've created that thought in my head that I cannot relate to people who are not Black, but it seems like those who I've encountered that aren't Black, we just don't have a lot in common, whether it be like music, upbringing, things we like to do.
Definitely the students who are involved in like a lot of the organizations that I'm involved in, I relate to them on a whole different level, whether it's like background or whether it's upbringing, whether it's culture, and just understanding that we're part of a larger struggle that's kind of like tied in and weaved into society for like for people like me.
When something like Philandro Castile and Alton Sterling and Tamir Rice, when those killings are happening, it's real hard. Like, I take that real hard sometimes, and like it'll be real difficult for me to talk to people.
So I went to a predominantly Black high school, and it was considered a low performing high school, which means like most students were on free and reduced lunch. That little Black atmosphere, and coming to K where it's supposedly diverse, but it has like a lot of white kids, that was just really different.
The expectations that my family had for me became different. My mom never went to college, and my dad did, so he has this sort of assertiveness towards like being the man that's been educated. And I think that jump of being a female that's going to college was the biggest thing for me, because their expectations were like, wow, my daughter is going to college. I have these expectations for her, and I need her to achieve that. And I think I put that as a personal burden on myself.
With my mom and just having nephews and nieces, and just having people look up to you and understanding where I came from, like, a lot of people don't get this opportunity. I don't want to mess it up. I'm an individual, but at the same time, I represent my community, I represent my family, I represent a lot of people that don't get this opportunity. I just want to make sure that whatever I do doesn't mess up. I don't want to mess up at the wrong time. Like, I'm not afraid of messing up, but I cannot mess up at the wrong time.
But you're 1 for 4.
I definitely think I have a support system at K. The faculty is extremely supportive, and I feel like the chemistry department is where I feel the safest at, because just of how supportive they are of like understanding the cultural differences that exist between the different races in school. And I had this group called Sakuma last year, which is essentially a group for underrepresented students of color in the sciences. And I'm leading Sakuma this year, and I think it opens my eyes up to how much I can help into creating a support system for other students as well.
Wanted to let you know that this is your safe space. You can call this your safe space. You can talk freely here. No one's going to say anything or judge you for doing anything. This is your space.
Of course, I feel like I have a support system, and they're found all over campus, you know, whether it's
My friends,
My roommates,
Older people of color.
different sorors.
my family.
my support system.